How's my mic? There we go. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, dear people. Good morning to you here gathered in the sanctuary and to those watching this service online. Together, we breathe. We gather our thoughts. We gather our energies. We connect with the spirits of life. May Day itself, May 1st, has come and gone. So many traditions woven together into that day. I feel all of the traditions in me now, and maybe you do too. I feel the intricate pagan maypole dance I danced as a child in the school gyms. I feel the protests in the streets, demanding respect for working people and unity in the face of all the economic forces that separate us. I feel the May Day emergency call as I watch my nation go to war with a nation that did not attack us, led by a president that did not work with Congress to commit our nation's human lives and resources to this war. How can we take all of this into our lives and build on it? How can we? Well, it might make you curious. Our theme this month is Awakening Curiosity. Our Unitarian Universalist faith rewards curiosity, I would say. You can ask why and keep asking why here. You can also stop and rest here. You can be nourished just as you are, knowing love is at the core of our faith. May Day calls us to action, but at the same time, the forces of spring call us to love and to wonder. Just look at those jacaranda trees lining our streets, that glorious day-glow purple, unbelievable. All of it calls us to look, all of it calls us to pause. This moment together is ours today, and we might just need each other's help to build a future together. May Day, May Day. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. Good morning. Namaste. The sacred radiance within me recognizes the sacred radiance within you, and salam alaikum. We invoke the spirit of peace. Welcome to this morning's service, Awakening Curiosity, which begins our exploration of this month's Soul Matters theme. Each month, we consider a theme of great significance to ground ourselves in thoughtful spiritual reflection and to strengthen the bonds of community. Now, I'm the Reverend Jeremiah Lal Shahbaz Kalendae, and I want to begin by congratulating you and our amazing Ministerial Search Committee for the successful call of my outstanding colleague, the Reverend Diana Smith, to be your next settled minister. This is truly exciting news and represents the realization of a great goal that you all set before yourselves so many years ago. We should all be proud and thankful. You may also be aware that while you were hosting Candidating Week here in Santa Monica, I was also candidating at University Unitarian Church in Seattle. And I am thrilled to share, for those who have not heard, that I have been called to be their next senior minister. Okay, that's enough now. In August, Reverend Diana and I will transition to our new ministries, so we'll have the next 2 months to say our goodbyes and celebrate the completion of developmental ministry. Now, where was I? Yes. I am joined on the chancel this morning by so many of our beloveds. Worship Associate and Chair of Worship, Chela Metzger, Our acting director of multi-generational religious education, Kieran Paisel, will be filling in for our regular director of multi-generational religious education, and we are grateful. We're also joined by our director of music, Sonder Choi, our choral section leaders, May Claire LaPlante, David Eric Peterson, Olivia Salazar, and Daniel Voigt, and of course our accompanist, Ryan Humphrey. We are all so glad to be joining you this morning. The Unitarian Universalist congregation of Santa Monica is a contemporary congregation with roots deep in the centuries-old traditions of Unitarian Universalism. This is our interactive welcome, and you're invited to respond. You're welcome here after each invitation. If you're disabled or temporarily able-bodied, you're welcome here. If you're young, middle-aged, seasoned, or spicy, as some of our elders are, you belong here. If you're neurodiverse or neurotypical, if you are bisexual, transgender, non-binary, lesbian, gay, intersex, asexual, pansexual, queer, questioning, or an ally, where do you belong? If you're black, indigenous, a person of color, or white, where do you belong? Immigrant, refugee, or native born. Atheist, agnostic, humanist, Buddhist, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Wiccan, pagan, Jain, spiritual but not religious, a seeker, wanderer, or lover of leaving, or none of the above, or some mixture or hybridity of any or all of those, where do you belong? Now, if this is your first time joining us or you're still new to our congregation, we bid you a special welcome and hope you'll take time to explore our website and our online news magazine and sign up for our Thursday announcements so that you can learn more about the many activities of our beloved spiritual home and ways that you can get involved in our works for justice, for building community, and making a difference in the lives of the members and friends of our community. As we begin, we'd like to acknowledge that we gather upon the sacred lands, near the life-giving waters, and beneath the beautiful sky of indigenous people. This is the traditional home of the Tongva, the Ventureno, the Fernandino, the Tatvavium, and Chumash tribes. We remember the painful histories of these lands and continue our commitments to justice and sovereignty for indigenous people. And finally, we light our flaming chalice with May This Flame by Betts Vinica. May this flame, symbol of transformation since time began, fire our curiosity, strengthen our wills, and sustain our courage as we seek what is good within and around us. Now let us rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, which is from the digital hymnal Sing Out Love, Holy, 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 but don't get too holy. Then remain standing for our covenant and hymn of praise.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la enseñanza de esta iglesia. Buscar la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es la oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en la libertad, servir a la humanidad en comunión. Así es como convenimos unos a otros. To do the donations? You okay? Do you want me to do the donations for the food bank? Up to you. Do it.
Hi, everyone. I know this may seem surprising, but I am, in fact, not Mrs. Jessica. It's crazy. Well, this is our time for the donations to the Westside Food Bank. If you have a donation to the Westside Food Bank, we ask that you bring it forward now and place it in our basket with some of our young volunteers. We have partners in collecting food for the Westside Food Bank for many years, and if you would like to donate food in large quantities, pasta sauce, unbreakable packaging, please. Juice, granola bars, protein bars, and breakfast cereal to our collection basket each week. Our service to the world can be embodied right here each Sunday. Makes a difference every time you do it. We really appreciate it so much, and so the people that you're donating to. So thank you so much. All people, young people and adults, are encouraged to give, and we will now receive this morning's offering for the Westside Food Bank.
If everyone wants to join Kieran on the chancel steps for our time for all ages, both the young and the young at heart are welcome.
Hello, everyone. This is our time for all ages. This is where we gather and we try to learn something new about the world, both young and old. Today, our story, I'm actually just going to come down here because this is where Miss Jessica usually does this. It gave a 16-year-old a microphone. I don't know what they were thinking. So today's reading is a story from Native American thinker and philosopher Starhawk. And we are celebrating this story, and we're going to see if we can glean any meaning from it and maybe some connection as well. So this is a story about the future. Close your eyes and imagine, oh, it's cutting out. Close your eyes and imagine a world where no flowers bloom. Isn't that scary, guys?
Not scary to me. I'm not not scared of anything, so it's not scary to me.
He's not scared of anything. Okay. All right. And worst of all, the people don't seem to notice, except for one little girl named Vivian. That spring, she asked everyone she met, "Where are the flowers?" "I don't have time to worry about flowers. I have places to be," said the mayor. "I made a new video game about growing virtual flowers in the virtual dirt for virtual points," said the tech genius. "I have flour if you want to bake a cake," said the confused grocer. She kept asking where the flowers had gone, but no one understood or seemed to care. "Nobody loves the flowers," she sobbed, "and nobody understands me." "That's exactly how I feel," said a small voice. Vivian lifted her head and saw a tiny, shabby dandelion growing from a crack in the sidewalk. "Oh, dandelion," Vivian said. "You're so beautiful." "Do you really think so?" said the dandelion, lifting its head. "I'm the most ordinary of flowers." "I think you're gorgeous," said Vivian. "Your love makes me feel stronger," said the little flower. "With love like yours, you can call back the flowers again." Pretty cool, guys. Calling back the flowers again. No, we're not done. No, wait. I'm 16, remember, you gotta give me a minute. All right. So Vivian decided that she would make a circle of love to bring back more flowers. First, she brought her friends from school, but the circle needed to be bigger. "We need all kinds of love," Vivian said. So Vivian brought her mothers into the circle, who loved each other. She brought her favorite librarian, who loved books. She brought her uncle, who loved rescuing lost animals. She loved and brought her grandma and grandpa, who loved trees. She brought her neighbors, who loved Allah and feeding his hungry children. She brought people from her church. Okay, I think we can be louder than that. Thank you, that's more like it. Come on, I know you guys. I've seen you guys sing. You guys have pipes. You all got it. The circle of love was very big and full now. In this big circle of love, Vivian's friends and family and neighbors all began to dance. As they danced in a circle, flowers began to grow. Roses and daisies and daffodils and bluebells and lavender brought forth to bloom from the circle of love that Vivian had brought together. It's pretty cool, guys. You gotta applaud for the circle of love. I mean, come on. Today, during our Green Living Fair, we are going to have, are we going to have our maple set up front? We are. We are going to have our maple set up front. And if you'd like to join our circle of love, we'll teach you to dance for the flowers and for all the beautiful life that the earth blesses us with every spring. It's so important for us to be loving and grateful to all the gifts of the earth and never take any of them for granted. And now, if you'll excuse me and everyone else that's closer to my age than I am to yours, we have to go learn about that in religious education. Bye, everyone.
All right, time to sing these little kiddos to the cottage. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you as you go on your way. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you as you go on your way.
All right. I do have a few announcements today, and for more announcements, you can always look at your Thursday email newsletter, at today's order of service down at the bottom, and on our website. Do take a moment to silence your cell phones. It's always appreciated. And just to let you know, every week I'm going to say this because it's true every day, we honor and welcome our visitors. Please find out more about who and what we are at the next in-person visitor meetup, which is actually, I believe, today. It's the first Sunday of every month over in the cottage. Bring your questions and find out more about how you and so many others could align and celebrate and appreciate and grow within our UU values and find solace. On Saturday, May 30th at 11 a.m., there will be a memorial service for our dear Ron Crane, longtime member and past board president. The service for Ron will be followed by a reception. Today, out in the courtyard, celebrate Earth Sunday and our annual Green Living Fair and Veggie Potluck. Learn more about sustainable gardening, vegan food, saving energy and water, how to get around maybe without your car, and protecting our Earth. Tables will be set up with lots of great ideas on how you can live more sustainably. We have a lot of knowledge in this church about these issues. Find out more from those who have made changes in their own homes and their own lives. And finally, it is never too late to pledge. Let's finish the year strong. For those who have submitted their pledge cards via email, pick up your custom-made UUSM lanyard and whistle at the art wall table in Forbes Hall, right through there. You can also, and always, still submit your pledges if you would like to do this in person. And I noticed there is new art on the art wall as well, so let's celebrate that. We are now at the time to greet your neighbor, a very popular episode. If you do, please, and you will, please keep your ear out for Ryan's piano cue, which will gently invite us back into worship and into your seat for our music this morning. But for now, let's take a few moments to say hello, welcoming both familiar faces and those who might be new among us.
Let us enter our time for deepening through spiritual exercise in the midst of beloved community. Breathing with intention together, we begin to center ourselves, and we enter more completely into our state of mindfulness, prayerfulness, and meditation. Allow each breath to be an expansion of your being that calls greater serenity and love to you. Imagine yourself and the space around you filling with a spaciousness and a lightness that is infused with feelings of calm and loving kindness as you breathe. Breathe and dwell into this spaciousness and into this lightness. In this sanctuary of spirit, with heart open in the midst of the freshness of the springtime. Know that this mindful awareness is available whenever you need it. You just have to slow down, return to your breath, and to that power of being alive. Our mindfulness prayer this morning is not a problem to solve by the Reverend Michelle Collins. I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and wonder, we come carrying questions we barely know how to ask. In a world that rewards quick answers and sharp certainty, something in us is still hungry for questions that leave us hanging and unknowing. Stir in us a living curiosity. When we meet what is unfamiliar, turn our fear into wondering. When we feel the pool shut down, grant us one more honest question. May we notice anew what we have walked past 100 times. May we listen for stories we have never heard before. May we meet this day not as a problem to solve, but as a mystery to explore. And may this help us to better know the mystery that is us. Let us hold a few minutes of silent meditation together. I will ring our singing bowl to begin and end our time for meditation. Curiosity is a fundamental impulse of our nature. When I think back to my earliest memories, many of them are of awakening to the new realities that surrounded me and wanting to explore them. They include flashbacks to waving my hands toward the colorful mobile swinging above me in my crib. And that one time I tried to crawl atop my little Tyke's cozy coupe. You know, the one in the 1980s with the red plastic frame, black wheels, and yellow roof. I also vividly remember sliding off it head first. I've still got the scar to wear as a badge of memory from that particular venture. And there were those mornings that I would try to give my parents a heart attack by waking early to sneak out of our home to visit the flocks of ducks that lived by the lake nearby. There was that one afternoon I got into my uncle's gym in our basement and attempted to see how strong I was by lifting that weight over my head and then promptly releasing it right onto my big toe. Got a scar from that one too. In our early years, we don't give much thought to our explorations, but rather to seem to be driven by an innate motivation to expand our realm of experience and explore the landscapes that comprise our awareness of reality. We also begin to come to know ourselves in those years as our inner consciousness is shaped by our positive, neutral, and negative feelings towards those formative experiences of exploring reality. The Buddhist teaching of pratitya samutpada, or the doctrine of dependent origination, I know many of you knew the Sanskrit on that one, states that through this interaction of our interior and our exterior worlds, reality as we know it comes into being. There's no ultimate clear demarcation between the external world and our interior sense of self. One is dependent upon the other, and we only come to form, this is getting a little deep here, an illusion of a more concrete separateness and an independence later in life. It is our awakened curiosity early in life that propels our growth, spiritual or otherwise, and that I believe also holds the potential for the transformation of our world. It seems to me that three original blessings of our existences are also three hallmarks of the liberal religious spirit: our openness, our curiosity, and our powerful imaginations. We often say that we are people with open minds and embracing hearts who lead with curiosity rather than judgment, and we dream of a world as we hope it will someday be. I've always loved one of the scriptural verses in the Christian tradition that has historically grounded our liberal religious approach. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, how exactly do we renew our minds? Curiosity is certainly a prominent ingredient in that catalyzing elixir. Yet it seems that we lose so much of our innate curiosity that we possessed as children as we grow older. I remember how when I was young, for example, I loved to play with the wispy, daddy-long-legged spiders that lived amidst the landscaping around my grandmother's home. I'd let them climb gently on my hands, and I found them to be the most remarkable little creatures. To this day, I can't imagine doing that without some of the fear that I picked up somewhere along the way on life's circuitous journey being triggered. While our curiosity is the basis for our learning and the sense of self that we're continually constructing throughout our lives, it also seems that as we shape that malleable clay of our being and it's fashioned into all different kinds of experiences, the illusions of our separateness become more opaque, our individuality becomes more solidified, and we forget our interdependence with all of life. I know, for example, that early in my life, I felt a oneness with nature that's become all the more difficult to tap into as life has progressed. It seems that we forget that we're the breath, the wind, the waters, and the clay itself, and not just the idol we're carefully crafting with all of these mediums and tools in order to know ourselves. Islam declares La ilaha illallah, its first and primary teaching, there is no God but God. Because it recognizes our tendency not only to imagine all of these deities controlling us out there somewhere in the heavens, but that we also imagine our own egos to be deities. Spirituality at its best helps us to remember we're not limited or separate, but we're expansive and connected to all. It helps to stir us from our temporary slumber, what some of the great prophets called spiritual death, and open us to the spacious field that we once knew, so that our beings can continue to unfurl and blossom in the midst of this beautiful and vast divine garden of our existences. Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment, admonishes the Sultan of Love, Jalal Muhammad Rumi. It appears to me that organized religion, and yes, that includes us Unitarian Universalists, regardless of how disorganized we may be at times, may fall into the same patterns and dynamics that we experience as individuals as we develop across our lifespans. It makes sense in the light of the Buddhist doctrine of dependent origination, which reminds us of the deep interrelatedness of all things and the ways that the inner shapes the outer and that the outer shapes the inner. We might also think of it as the individual shaping the collective and vice versa. Religion seems to emerge from a fundamental openness to what our UU inspirations and sources have named direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder, which move us to renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. And then, and there's always a then, the child who learns that the weight that they can so proudly lift so high may also split open their toe. And so, in the context of organized religion, rules emerge to help direct the process of life's ongoing blossoming. Every religion ends up creating some kind of ritual structure, means of opening up and interacting with the sacred mystery. And also an ethical system which is intended, at least at its onset, to be of service to life in these processes of its unfolding. In Judaism, there are the holy days and the prayers and the temple protocols for the ritual practice, and there are the 613 commandments for living. In Islam, there are 5 pillars of faith and its practices, and then there is the Sharia law, which attempts to distill learned wisdom to provide warning and guidance. Of course, these rules get manipulated by different agendas over time. Some are emphasized while others are forgotten, and they may come to acquire a rigidity that wasn't originally part of the plan. They can leave religion in a precarious place, so ensconced in its own rules or stuck in a time and place that its rigidity makes it incapable or diminished in its capacity to open up to and experience the sacred mystery, let alone express it in a way that moves people to that renewal of the spirit and an openness to those forces that create and uphold life. It becomes disconnected from ongoing revelation, cut off from its source, and forgetful of its responsibilities to guide life's unfolding. When religions wither into such a state, they become like us humans who only remember what they fashioned, stagnant and incapable of growth, grasping at our illusions, or even worse, spiritually dead. Curiosity, in this case, becomes something to be feared and guarded against, lest those carefully crafted rules and the egos they serve be transformed. In our Soul Matters reflections this month, the writer Ian Leslie observed, our oldest stories about curiosity are warnings. Adam and Eve and the apple of knowledge, Icarus and the sun, Pandora's box. Early Christian theologians railed against curiosity. St. Augustine claimed that God fashioned hell for the inquisitive. Even humanist philosopher Erasmus suggested that curiosity was simply greed by a different name. For most of Western history, it's been regarded as, at best, distraction, at worst, a poison, corrosive to the soul and society. There's a reason for this, he continues. Curiosity is unruly. It doesn't like rules, or at least it assumes that all rules are provisional, subject to the laceration of a smart question nobody has yet thought to ask. It disdains the approved pathways, preferred diversions, unplanned excursions, impulsive left turns. In short, curiosity is deviant. Pursuing it is liable to bring you into conflict with authority at some point. End quote. We all know the truth of this, right? When people start to get curious, however, extraordinary things can happen. New life may be breathed into parched souls and withered traditions. When the Vedic tradition of Hinduism had become all about the precision of ritual performance, and all the power had been delegated to deities, and an unquestioning authority to conformity to authority was advocated, Siddhartha Gautama, alayhi assalam, got curious about whether that was really all religion had to offer. And shortly thereafter, Buddhism was born, and Hinduism was forever changed. When Jesus of Nazareth, alayhi assalam, began to ask many of the same things about his tradition, which emphasized the importance of ritual animal sacrifice and scrupulously following the law of tradition. And he instead emphasized the importance of love of the divine and of neighbor and even of outcasts and enemies. A refreshed iteration of religion was born. When the revolutionaries of the past, be they a Sojourner Truth, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Mahatma Gandhi, Karl Marx, or Sylvia Rivera did the same and questioned everything about the ordering of society and then dreamed of the world as it could be, they unleashed unprecedented social progress. Awakened curiosity throughout all of human history has always been the first stroke of justice. So just how curious can we be? Or are we willing to be in our time? What would even really be required of us to really ask that question? Arjun Shankar, professor of culture and politics at Georgetown University and co-editor of Curiosity Studies, A New Ecology of Knowledge, challenges, I'm a little bit more cynical when it comes to curiosity generally. This is mainly because of how deeply colonized our imaginations, curiosities, and interests are. So for me, I start by thinking how to move against the entrenched colonization of our ability to imagine and question. How to move against the entrenched colonization of our ability to imagine and question. That means, he continues, first, just becoming conscious that one's curiosity is colonized, myself included. And once you're aware that curiosity is political, that it's not singular, it is not universal, it is not just as it should be in one way, shape, or form, then it actually allows maybe a cracking just ever so slightly of the edifice of neo-colonial curiosity, if you want to call it that. To me, this is what hope looks like. End quote. That's a lot to digest. But this is why the work of anti-racism and countering oppressions for collective liberation is so fundamental to the future of how we practice our living religious tradition. It is literally a matter of the life or death of our still living tradition. Liberal religion has always been a counterbalance to the tendency of religions to evolve or devolve, as it may be, into rigid systems of prescribed rituals and rigid rules. Liberal religion, in a context like ours, loses its capacity to serve the religious enterprise and humankind more broadly, however, when it is unaware of how it has been shaped by and is still being molded by dominant powers and structures and dispositions like white supremacy, cis-heteropatriarchy, capitalism, classism, ableism, speciesism, or other dominating frameworks of perception, meaning, and power. We have to actively move against colonization, as he urges, not only in the powers and structures of our society and its institutions, but how they have been shaped, distorted, or limited our curiosity and the imagining that it engenders. When we do the work of intersectional anti-racism and anti-oppression, we loosen the fetters that have been placed upon our own minds and our hearts. And when we do it together in community, we create space for the emergence of new realities, new ways of relating, and new revelations. When we truly open ourselves to the breath of the living Spirit being breathed once more through us, through community. So in this month of awakening curiosity, I wonder, are we tilling the soil of our souls with an openness and a curiosity and creating more space for the continual unfolding of our lives? Are we remembering that we are not only the self that we've fashioned, but something deeper and more interconnected and profoundly mysterious? Are we remembering the ways that we've been limited by our world and the ways that we're working to creatively overcome those limitations so that we might be transformed by the renewing of our minds? May our holy curiosity be sparked all month long. May it be so. Amen, amen, and blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Jeremiah. And I want to just say we should give a hand to Kieran. I know he's not here, but that was a big job he did this morning. It is time for our offering, and to be followed by our offering anthem, so more wonderful music. Your offering today supports the many folks who make this congregation a home. Those working on animal ministry, the Green Team, all who participate in pastoral care, the intersectional anti-racism, anti-oppression, and the Faith in Action commissions. Amazing work being done. Let's just talk about coffee, ushers, greeters. It's beautiful. Half of our Sunday offering this month is dedicated also to Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice, or the organization called CLUE. As their website states, faith communities call people of all races, occupations, and identities together to consider their place in the world and their responsibilities to each other, including seeking justice for each other, all walks of life, all nations, all colors. We are here in the pews and the pulpits of the Southland, and when we speak to the outside world, we are rooted in the conviction that faith demands justice everywhere. CLUE has been a longtime partner with our congregation at UUSM, and their work supporting immigrant communities today is especially important. They bear witness to ICE and hold regular peace vigils. Take a look at their website for more information. And as always, thank you for all that you give, monetarily, but also through your time, your care, your energy, here in this congregation and beyond. The ushers are invited to come forward. Your offering will now be gratefully accepted.
Please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn. This is 354 in your gray hymnal. We laugh, we cry.
May you go in peace, holding fast to that which is good. Return to no person evil for evil, but strengthen the faint of heart. Support the weak, help the afflicted, honor all beings. May you go forth into this day and be blessed, and may you be a blessing. Amen.